The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming at you all the way live. Welcome to Melanated Politics.
From PG County, Maryland, of course, the DMV, I'm David Harper.
From the city of Compton, California, I am Eric Clark, and I am lucky to have a distinguished friend of mine from Little Rock, Arkansas, who I've been working on so many different political campaigns for so many years with. A very good friend of mine. We welcome Dion Johnson to Melanated Politics. Thank you so much for Dion for joining us.
Yes.
Ooh,
Absolutely. Yes.
I feel the love. Arkansas, yes, I am. If you can't hear it in my voice, they say you can take the girl out the country, but you can't take the country out the girl.
Absolutely.
And I did say girl, so don't adjust the camera. I am a girl.
And to our audience, thank you so much for tuning in every Sunday. Local and national politics affects the black community, and we will address those issues. So allow us to kick around a few nouns and verbs from our perspective, and as we proceed, go ahead and call into 323-293-3375. The topics of today are the latest Trump drama, as always, the solutions to blacks obtaining political power. But first, let's kick it off with the latest Democrats encouraged to run for the presidency of the United States in the year of our Lord, 2020. Beta O'Rourke, okay? We have Beta, first name Beta. Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
Stacey, although she's not official, like a referee whistle.
Okay, true.
And also the former senator and the former vice president to former President Barack Obama, Joe Biden.
And also, don't forget, she just announced Kristen Gillibrand, senator from New York, just announced that she's officially running. So can't forget about her.
Oh, the race is getting interesting.
Very
It's
interesting.
gonna be something to see.
Absolutely. But as far as Joe Biden, I mean, he's a straight shooter. I believe he has a chance. I mean, because of his, first of all, no one is more well connected in Washington, D.C. than Joe Biden. Do your research. Former senator. He's been around for a long time. Has been the chair of different political committees in the Senate. Okay? He has Republicans that are friends. The man is a straight shooter. His son was in the military. This guy is an all-American political hero.
Down to earth, middle class American, which everyone can relate to. He knows what it is to not have. As you notice, Joe always speaks about how his parents, when his dad didn't have what it took for him to go to school, go to college.
Yes.
See, we need that kind of person that they're with us, someone that understands what it is to be in the trenches and understand that you need to help to pull yourself up from the bootstrap. Because they always say, Republicans always say, that's the way they believe, is that it should just happen. You should just automatically, if you don't have it, you shouldn't have it.
Okay. One of the reasons why we went there with this particular subject, because if Donald Trump is going to be defeated in the year of our Lord, 2020, there has to be a Democrat that will take him down. There has to be a Democrat that can win the battleground states, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, etc. There has to be a Democrat. So far, Joe Biden is relevant. He can speak to the Bible Belt. He can speak to the Rust Belt. He can speak to, but you know what? There is a flip side to every coin.
And Joe, also, let's let it be known, whether or not you want to admit it, the LGBTQ community would walk. And Joe Biden was the first before President Obama to step out and acknowledge and accept the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Very true. Very first.
Very true.
Very first.
Very true.
Personally, I think it was a setup with him and Obama, because Joe's that kind of guy. He said, "Oh,
okay.
you know what?
What do you think about Joe? What do you think about? That's an interesting point, and it's factual. What are your thoughts on Joe Biden? Before I proceed.
Before I give my thoughts on Joe Biden, this is going to be a great show. You see the energy. You see what we're talking about here. Okay, my thoughts on Joe Biden is that I think he's a strong candidate. All the points you made are very true. Being someone that everyone can relate to, being a face that everybody knows. He does have an arc on his beginnings of his political career that have been, how should I say? I don't want to say sketchy, but definitely deserves some analyzing.
What about, as we say in Los Angeles? What about scandalous?
Scandalous is scandalous. He wasn't always the best towards black folks or to women, but he has had that arc, and I do believe being with Obama has helped him with that arc. There's good
and bad in most people.
Absolutely.
I believe that where a person's heart and soul and intentions are, or the bottom line factor. Okay, whether it's politically speaking, or whether we choose to go and have us a friend. However, in the year of our Lord, 1994,
I love it.
Joe Biden, he was involved in a crime bill, the infamous crime bill. Now, as far as I am concerned, every single black voter in the United States of America, before they vote for Joe Biden, should actually pay attention, watch, and listen to the crime bill. As a matter of fact, let's let Joe Biden speak for himself.
It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well...
Okay, there you have it. Joe Biden in 1993, and I want to preface...
94.
It was actually, that was recorded in 93.
Okay,
the crime bill was in 94. That was recorded in November, I think it was November 13th, 1993.
My mom was right. I don't know everything. Keep going, brother.
Your mom is very wise. The thing about that period of time with all our politicians, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it was National Black Caucus, Bill Clinton, whomever, Bernie Sanders, who actually signed a crime bill as well, that time was not a good time for the black community in the sense of how it could be, how law enforcement and trying to solve the problems the way they're going about it now, they're trying to go about it now in a different way. Back then it was horrible because of our skin color. And also, the reason why I preference, and I'll be real quick, 1993, that was post Rodney King. Mm-hmm. And seeing South Central LA, seeing LA and seeing all the black folks rise up, that gave the visual to white America in a lot of ways to help fuel that bill, which really, and this is the last point I make, which really started in 71 with Nixon.
I get that.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, okay, look, brother, that was so eloquent. But does that make it right?
Yes.
Does that make it right? I mean, to go along, to get along, to fall into the trap of the order of the day, which is throw black folk out there and present black folk as a threat, political gain and political purpose, also for votes. Is it right? Absolutely not. Has he done other things great for the black community? I would say probably so. But at the same time, I'm about fairness. You cannot talk about one thing and negate everything else unless you are part of Fox News, a propaganda machine for the Trump campaign, or Trump himself. All I am asking for, my brothers and sisters, let's be fair. What do you think about what you just saw on that video?
I think it seems to me a little bit of it was edited. I'm too honest. It seems that way to me. Basically, as a black woman and a black mother of 3 wonderful black young men.
That's right.
My understanding of things is different. I didn't grow up in Compton. Okay, I didn't grow up where my kids had to go to school and they had metal detectors, nor did I have to do that. But had I, my whole thing, I would understand the frustration. People, you guys keep talking, but you have to understand something. This was during the time when Bill Clinton was president. And the African Americans were screaming out for help because these mothers were losing innocent children, dying on the streets through a stray bullet. You know what I mean? Gun violence. And they were, what are you going to do, Mr. President? What are you going to do? Okay, so a crime bill was set, you know. Basically, what he's trying to say, there are points there that I heard, unless I heard wrong, and that's why I need both of you guys' ears, where he was saying they're not hopeless. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
and so that's why I say cut. Here's the thing. Until I get a politician that acknowledges that I'm just an American human being, because everybody's running on us. Mm-hmm. And that's like we're at a state of an emergency. Okay. When we really, with Biden, my thing with what he did and just said, a lot of this we bring on ourselves. And then we look for politicians to fix what we need to fix.
I believe that we need to fix our own problems, and those were very interesting points. I feel every word of that. Absolutely, that was great. As far as Joe Biden, I mean, like I said, to peddle black votes is it's immoral as far as I'm concerned. Listen, the opioid crisis in America has not been criminalized like crack. Right now, as we speak, there are guys at the mountain in the woods with AR-15s getting ready to start a war. I'm not making this up at Morris Media Studios. Do your own research. Okay, now, after Dylan Roof assassinated those wonderful black brothers and sisters, a lot that were elderly people, did they drive around this neighborhood and criminalize everyone? No, they did not. According to what we've heard, they took that man to Burger King. Okay, so the thing about it is, yes, there's a criminal aspect to every community. My issue is to highlight the criminal aspect and crime in the black community without highlighting it on other communities is something that is being sold.
I mean, I completely agree with you. I'm thinking about young man Jesse Smollett. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think of the athlete's name, but he was in another country and faked a robbery.
Oh, it was college athlete. It was Ball, Lonzo Ball's son.
Yeah, no, there was another young guy. I think he was a swimmer, but I know for a fact when if I come back, I'll have it complete. He did the same thing Smollett did.
Okay.
No charges were brought against him, and nothing happened. Again, we're talking about two separate things, and you're so right. I love that about it. You know, being here with you guys. You guys are so right. I love the male perspective. But here's the thing, really quick. Being black, you get what I'm saying? You're going to always wear. It's like a birthmark. It dies with you. Being a Caucasian or being white, same thing.
Yes.
But the difference between the two is that now I crack jokes, but I always tell my sons, I said, before you think of ever doing anything wrong in this country, anything wrong, the first thing you better tell yourself is, I'm a black man.
Absolutely.
So you know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. My life experience is particularly different than a lot of the friends I grew up with. As I introduced myself in the show, I said I'm from the city of Compton. My grandmother was a business owner and a home owner in the city of Compton, California. However, my dad was in the military. I actually grew up also in Frankfurt, Germany, Rhein-Main, Germany. I lived in a place called Shape, Belgium, SHAPE, which stands for Supreme Headquarters, Allied Pacific, Europe. So I lived on military bases, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, White Sands, New Mexico. I said all of that to say this. You cannot change your skin, no matter where you're from. We are from 3 different regions of the good old U.S. of A. Okay? And I'll mention, I might as well say this now. The Republicans encourage black people to only focus on the success of America as opposed to the failures of America. And that's something we will get off into later on with respect to our last subject, which will be the solutions to black political power in America. But I want to take us here, David, and there's something I wanted to ask you. Now, first, let me preface this by saying, listen, regarding the Trump administration, there is more drama in the Trump administration than an Atlanta housewives vacation.
That's drama.
Okay? So
drama.
So let's you know. I can regret what I say, but no matter of fact, I don't regret it, and I will not take it back.
That's drama.
So as far as the Trump latest drama, we have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, her press conferences. We have Paul Manafort.
Yes.
Okay. We have the fact that we just had a terrible incident that happened in New Zealand with white supremacist terrorists that also quoted our dear leader, Donald Trump.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on regarding Washington, D.C. right now in this Trump administration.
Yes.
Now, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I don't know if you saw her last
press conference.
It was a disaster.
Was that a press conference? I thought it was the silent show.
Well, that's most of her shows. I mean, that's how they usually, she deflects.
I didn't think it can get any worse than Sean Spicer.
Oh, I miss Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer was fun.
Yeah, he was fun. Exactly. He's at least fun. He was fun.
Sean Spicer was Mother Teresa. Compared to Sean Spicer was the Dalai Lama compared to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Do you guys remember that tribe of Africans that's been there for 70,000 years off the coast of India, the Senegalese? And they unfortunately the missionary was killed.
Oh yeah,
by them.
Yes.
You know how they don't allow outsiders.
I know what you're talking
Members
about.
of the Senegalese tribe will talk to reporters before Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
She reminds me of the game Mama May I, which is instead though it's Trump. Papa May I?
Papa.
Papa's like, they don't speak.
That.
I'm not speaking.
Y'all remember Robert? Y'all remember Robert from Chicago, right? Y'all remember Robert from Chicago?
Robbie, yeah. I do remember.
R. Kelly will be the president of the Girl Scouts of America before Sarah Huckabee Sanders says one word to the reporters and speaks the truth without deflecting and supporting the Trump administration unequivocally. So that's some of the drama, the latest drama of the Trump.
Her supporters love that, though. Her supporters love that. The supporters of Trump love that because they don't like the truth. The truth is, it's like medicine to them, and they want to stay sick, and they're happy with being sick.
Yeah, they're happy with that kind of sickness.
That type of sickness.
Well said, David. That's a sickness.
Sickness.
And it's a sickness that, oh my God, we are in 2019. It's sort of like the flu. There's a cure.
Yeah.
Now, Dion, thanks again. We're lucky to have you here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Seriously. Good friend of mine, Dion Johnson. You spoke about Nancy Pelosi off camera before we came here. Mm-hmm. Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic leader, United States House of Representatives, lately she stated that it's not worth it to proceed or initiate hearings to impeach the president, Donald Trump. So I want to ask you first, and then Dion, what do you think about Nancy Pelosi failing to recognize that Donald Trump, in my humble opinion, that Donald Trump should be impeached? I mean, right now, to start the proceedings that do the before the Mueller report. What do you think about what Nancy Pelosi said? You and then
okay,
Dion, if you don't mind.
I think Nancy's being smart. I think that more than anything, the district court in New York, the district court in New York, has the information, that goes beyond. I'm just talking about with his taxes and with his finances that can go deeper. And I think she's not just looking at Mueller; she's looking at New York and looking at everything. And she's just because she understands where the country is in a way that most politicians don't. She understands it from the people that support her and from the people that hate her guts. She knows that. So she wants to be smart because she wants a Democrat in the White House. So that's what I think.
Now, Dion, is that in conflict with obviously that is in conflict with other Democrats, your Ocasio-Cortez's and your other Democrats that are Maxine Waters, dear friends of ours in the show. What do you think about? What do you think about what Nancy Pelosi said? And also, will that make a split between the Democratic Party?
No, it's not. Some of it is, to me, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I always think past things. It could be the cancer in me, it could just be me. But basically with Maxine Waters, too, who I love. Mm-hmm. But you got to love her because she's a strong black sister.
Absolutely.
And strong black sisters, we want vindication right now, when you get what I mean.
Right.
And that anger exceeds things. Where Nancy Pelosi is passive aggressive, and she knows that's a kid. Donald Trump is a kid. We're dealing with a child in office. So how do you handle a child? You tell him what you want, what he wants to hear, to pacify him. Give him a little toy to play with for a minute. I don't want to impeach you. Go away. Mama don't want to do. Mama wants to do anything with you. Go play. You know why? He's gonna fall for it. Because they already have everything they need to prosecute Donald Trump. And I'm telling you right now, on Moore's Media Studios, that as sure as I'm sitting here and breathing, the man is going to jail. Donald Trump is going to jail. Your neck and I was telling you guys this. Mm-hmm. It sounds crazy. I'll put it out because sometimes you speak things into the atmosphere.
Into existence.
Because I need an orange jumpsuit for him. But I'm going to speak it out there really loud and clear. For a short time, your president is going to be Nancy Pelosi. Why? Because Donald Trump is going to be indicted, and he's going to be the first president, unlike Nixon, because he's going to be too stupid to step down. And the only way they're going to get him out is to prosecute him. And if you pay attention to what Mueller is doing, Robert is smart. He's setting him up because the reason he's hollering about collusion and the election, I need to prove you're not president. Because that'd be dang if we're going to pay for you in prison, because you have to protect the president. You get what I mean? Yes. Till they die. But if I make sure I prove that you were never president, I'll make that assumption, too, in Morris Media Studios. I'm telling you. He talked about Obama. There's an atmosphere out there. You reap what you sow.
Yes, indeed.
He tried to delegitimize who he was. 45 will never be again. Mm-hmm. Not under Donald Trump's name.
Right.
The next person that runs in 2020, that's your 45. Those are my predictions.
Well, unless there's someone that can go get some of these white votes, Donald Trump will be 45, 46. They may change the law, and he may be 40, as we say around here, 47.
47. That'd be some powerful stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think we've all seen the dominance.
Now also, focus on this number. For 7.5. Paul Manafort, who was the former chairman of the Donald Trump 2000 presidential campaign elections received 7.5 years that a black, a brown, a minority would have been judicially lynched for the same crime. Okay? This is an injustice. This is called privilege. I have to listen, Paul Manafort's lawyer, call in here, give me your number, bro. Okay? Call in here, give me your number. He magnified every ailment that Manafort had. His back was hurting. His blood pressure was over 140/90. His total cholesterol was over 200. His LDS was 130. I mean, his HDL was around 40. I mean, are you serious?
Well, excuse me, they should have gave him 28 years like they gave the mayor of Detroit because he sounded like a black man with those ailments. Because that's the way
that's
they.
That's a whole nother conversation.
David,
that's a whole nother conversation.
David, he didn't look like a black man when they handed out their time.
Yeah.
There's you know how we like. I can promise you there are so many brothers and sisters in federal prison that saw Paul Manafort perhaps on television, and for the first time in their life they said, "Lordy, I wish I was white."
No, yeah. Kwame, look at me.
Yes. I wish I was white.
You need to call your attorney, baby. You got to renegotiate.
Yeah.
Because you did the same thing he did. You need to call somebody.
Kwame Kilpatrick, I feel bad. I have to. That was a great.
You went there with Kwame.
Yes. That was a great point. Yes. That was a great.
You need to call your attorney, Kwame. Get him on the phone.
Dion, that was a great point.
What do you think would happen if Kwame had Paul Manafort's lawyer?
No, if Kwame had Paul Manafort's caller. Let's go real.
Yes,
I mean, he wasn't a lawyer; it's the caller.
You gotta understand why Kwame.
That man would be some shrimp fried rice right now in the Bahamas.
You gotta understand why Kwame went to jail. Kwame went to jail because he wanted to stand and
talk about when we say Kwame.
Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit, where they handed. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't super clean, but
who was he?
He was a former mayor of Detroit, Florida A&M alum. He went to Florida A&M University. He wasn't he was an average politician that did some things underhanded, but nothing to the extent of Manafort. But they gave him years that Manafort should have, and he should have the years that Manafort has right now. And that's basically what it is. He lied on the stand about an affair. It was a text. He had an affair. And it was like, boom, they slapped him with that, and then they got his buddies off some deals. But it wasn't anything where you needed 20. He wasn't a detriment to society. It was never a 28 year. And what it really was, it was to show, it was to show black people and the black community that if a black man or a black woman is in power, you try this again, this is what you're going to get.
So before we move on from Paul Manafort and Kwame, was there a disparity, and if so, how much?
Oh, gosh, disparity? I mean, it's this disparity like you would see in drug offenses between white and black. Is a disparity between...
Are you referencing the opioid crisis and the crack?
I'm talking about
80s?
Opioid, getting pulled over, anything.
How one was criminalized, and the other, and the government via the Trump administration put some money towards rehabilitation and giving out hugs and... they're still a good kid and et cetera. Are you talking about that disparity?
I'm talking about disparity just all across the board, how black property isn't worth as much as white property. Black property taxes. It's just all of it is separate because of our melanin, because of our skin color.
He's right.
And
the depreciation.
When you say melanin, do you mean it as in melanated politics?
Yes.
That's what he's going to say.
That's what I'm going to say, yes. But that's the difference. That's the difference.
One of the law, America is a land of laws. Mm-hmm. How it became a land of laws is the topic of another show.
Because of us.
It's because of us. It is because of the genocide of the indigenous Native Americans. Mm-hmm. But one reason why I referenced laws is because laws are important. So voting has its importance, and who you select to vote for is also very, very important. Now, I said all that to say this. That's one of my favorite lines. I said all that to say this. The Stand Your Ground law, was one of the most detrimental laws regarding the black community in every single city where blacks reside in the United States of America. That is the same law that exonerated that coward George Zimmerman for the assassination and the murder of our brother Trayvon Martin, who was visiting his dad.
Yeah. And wasn't that law created in the South?
It was created in the South
because of the fear of the white man had of the black man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so we need to be able to shoot them.
Now, let me tell you something.
Without going.
Can I tell you who is not with the Stand Your Ground law? Can I tell you who was another Harriet Tubman that's a senator in the great state of, where are you from?
Arkansas.
There we go.
Stephanie Flowers. Now, before I continue about Stephanie Flowers, let's do a side note. For all of our viewers, and thank you so much for tuning in to Melanated Politics. Go ahead and call in 3232-933375. Support Morris Media Studios by go ahead and subscribing, pressing that like, etc. Stephanie Flowers, black queen, strong, backbone, principled, ethics, morals.
Fed up,
mother. Am I feeling myself, or is everyone feeling me?
Absolutely.
Okay, is everyone listening, or are they just hearing me? Now, as I said before, the Trump administration, they are for Stand Your Ground. Senator of Arkansas, Stephanie Flowers, she is not. Now, if you are the type of person that believes that, all black people that are involved in politics, all black politicians are sellouts, I have a surprise for you. We have a surprise for you. Okay? Actions speak louder than words. Don't listen to me. Check out Senator Stephanie Flowers.
It doesn't take much to look on the local news every night and see how many black kids, black boys, black men are being killed with these stand your ground defenses that these people raise. Then they get off. So I take issue with that. I'm the only person here of color, okay? I am a mother, too. And I have a son. And I care as much for my son as y'all care for y'all's. But my son doesn't walk the same path as yours does. So this debate deserves more time. I'm in Pine Bluff. We have killings regularly down there. Mr. Hunter knows, he's our prosecutor. Now, I don't know where the heck, I know where you are from, Gary. And I don't know really where Mr. Ballinger is from. But I can tell you that for a long time since I've been back here in Arkansas, I have feared for my son's life. Now, he's 27, he's out of Arkansas. And I thank God he is. When you're bringing up crap like this, it offends me. And then to limit the debate too, this is crazy. You don't have to worry about your children, Will. I worry about my son. And I worry about other little black boys and girls. And people coming into my neighborhood, into my city, saying they got open carry rights, walking down in front of my doggone office in front of the courthouse. That's a bully. Do I have a right to stand my ground with some crazy ass person walking around with a doggone gun? I don't know what the hell he intends to do. But I know I am scared. I feel threatened. Just like some of y'all walking around here up in the legislature with these damn guns. That, what's his name, Garner came in here, walking around here with a damn gun under his coat. You can see the damn print.
Senator, you need to stop.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What the hell are you gonna do? Shoot me?
Senator.
Senator, what the hell? I'm telling you, this deserves more attention. You want to come up here with all these little NRA bills and bills that Alec have and all that stuff. I'm talking about my son's life. And I'm talking about the lives of other black kids. you want to do. Go ahead, but you can't silence me. You got your damn silence gun out the damn chamber today, but you are not going to silence me.
That's one of those things where I laugh to keep from crying. There's nothing like a mother and her concern for her children. I'm a black mother of 3 sons, as I said, and oddly enough, my twins are 27 years old, and my children didn't feel the California thing. They wanted to stay in the South.
You're from Arkansas.
I'm from Arkansas, and let's get it for my mom and for everybody. Let me get this straight. I was born in a small town called Madison, Arkansas, which is about an hour and a half from Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay, that town is important because we had the first black mayor, and years ago, before I was ever thought of, the whites wanted to come in and blow that town up because it was the black. Black, predominantly black owned, black everything, and I'm proud of that. But my thing is, that's why I asked you what that law was created in the South. Now, with what she's saying and what I'm hearing, everything she's saying touches our hearts. It touches us, and we relate to it. But you know why we relate to it? Because it's us.
It's us.
But what she should have did is, I'm sitting here thinking, as I told you, I think differently. I'm sitting here thinking about the movie with Samuel Jackson. The way Jake got him off. He set the story up. See, now she should have set that story up.
You're referencing A Time to Kill.
Go ahead. She should have set that story up because, see, we have to stand your ground. So that means every one of us African Americans have a right to carry a gun too. You kind of get what I'm saying? So we have a right to bear arms. So now let's reverse it. Let's reverse it. A young 26-year-old comes in my yard. It's midnight. You get what I mean? I'm scared. I feel scared. He's got a hoodie on. Do you follow what I mean? He's shaking at my door. He could be at the wrong door. I don't know. I'm telling him to leave. Leave, I'm going to shoot. Then he keeps shaking, and then he bams on the door, and I get scared, kicks the door in, I shoot. Do you follow what I'm saying? Simple young white boy, college educated, everything. But then what would happen then? See, then we got to reevaluate that law.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? After they send me to prison forever, then now we're going to reevaluate the law. You get what I'm saying? It's sad that the only way you can change the system is to buck the system.
Absolutely. Now when regarding that,
I mean,
Harriet Tubman's sister, break it down like an improper fraction.
I mean, Dion said it. Took all the words out of my mouth in the sense of sharing that. One thing I will say from a black mother's point of view, because I'm a black father, but when my son, after he turned a year old, I was in Dallas. I was doing the Dallas Auto Show. Shout out to my wife Dara, who holds it down for our family.
Hey, Dara.
My son turned a year old, and I'm calling my wife called me.
Okay. And
it was right after Trayvon Martin was shot, and instead of saying, I thought she was going to call me about Solomon did this or Solomon did that. She said, first thing I heard her voice was, how can we protect Solomon at a year old from what happened with Trayvon Martin at 17? That was in her mind, and he's only a year old. And that mom right there on the screen, and Dion, I felt through that. I mean, the way she was talking, I thought I remember my wife's voice on that phone. So, I mean, enough said. I think we know what we need to do.
Well, that eliminates one black community conspiracy theory that all black politicians don't care. All black politicians are sellouts. If you hear someone say that, put on Melanated Politics. Please show them Senator Flowers. From the state of Arkansas.
Fed up.
And do your own research, and we'll take it from there. Now, with respect to a popular demand, people always ask, David, Eric, why don't you guys talk about solutions as opposed to the problem? You guys are great at identifying what's going on, the problem, psychologically, emotionally, historically, from all of those words that end with an LLY perspective. So what we have decided to do is talk about the solutions, because for every problem there is a solution at the same time. We need to alleviate that word. We don't have problems. We only have challenges. So if we can alleviate or substitute that word problems and talk about challenges as opposed to problems, that's step number one. Okay? In order to figure out what the solution is, according to the laws and common sense and according to the laws of nature and the laws of the universe in which people have been on planet Earth for millennia and millions of years, you have to know what the problem is first. So we're not talking about problems. We're talking about the challenges of black folk in 2000, in the year of our Lord, 2019, because it relates to her sons, my son, his sons, your daughters, your mothers, your sisters, your families, your friends. Even if they are not black, it affects us all. Before we go to the solutions, I would like to make a disclaimer. I have a lot of Caucasian white folks that watch this show, that I know, that I work with, that I consider to be good friends. Okay? There's a lot of Hispanics, Asians, people that watch this show, that support the show, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Melanated, the essence of color. Politics, war without bloodshed. That is the definition. We appreciate it. We are unapologetic with respect to telling the truth. Now let's go ahead and proceed to the solutions. Now, the Democrats, the Republicans, these organizations, they all state that they have, like, solutions for black folks, right?
You see, that's to take your glasses off type of concept.
Let's take them off.
Take your glasses off type of concept.
See, that's why I bring them, because I knew we were going to talk about this.
How long did you say we had for the show today?
Yeah,
we got to make it short. We got to make it short, okay? Let me just say, the Democratic and Republican leaders think that, matter of fact, Democratic leaders, they feel like they entitled to the black vote. I'm going to say that again. Democratic leaders, they feel that they are entitled to the black vote. That's the census, according to people that believe black folks shouldn't even vote. Okay? Leave a comment if you disagree with that. Okay, Republicans leaders think black people should just throw a party, pop balloons, have a parade and a barbecue, and celebrate how great America is, as opposed to what America has done wrong by way of our ancestors and our people through torture, blood, sweat, pain, and building this country absolutely for free without reparations. Now, the solutions should be, we need to stick together. We need to vote together as one voting block. Okay, we all vote together. Also, some say, and I may even agree with, we need our own political party. Bottom line, okay? It's that simple. Also, we need to institute summer jobs for young black teenagers in the black community. We had summer jobs in Compton, Dion, when I was coming up.
We had them in the South.
We had people here at Compton, this in L.A., we had summer jobs. We had something to do. We were making, we had a paycheck. We knew what it was like to get up every morning and be responsible and take pride in your work and get some type of paycheck and feel good about yourself. So with respect to solutions for black political power, I would love to hear what you two have to say, because I know that you have something to say about the solutions for political black power. You heard what I had to say.
Dion, I'm let you.
What's cracking? What up?
I'm trying to think about
solutions for political black power.
If I had a nickel or a dime, you have a nickel. Do you have a dime?
I don't have a dime.
Do you,
I don't have a dime.
What could I do with a nickel or a dime right now today? Not a damn thing.
Okay.
But nickels and dimes changed the course of history in the 60s. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Nickels and dimes, what am I talking about? If I say nickels and dimes changed the course of history in the 60s, what am I talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Let me tell you something.
POTUS.
The power of the black, and I told you when we were just talking off that the thing about it is, I'm an American. I'm a human being and an American. Happen to be blessed to be beautifully black. You get what I mean?
Melanated.
African, I've never lived in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be real about that, okay? I'm a human being that's an American. I happen to be beautifully black. Basically, though, when I say nickels and dimes changed the course of history, We are the center. When I look up America in the dictionary, this is my vision. You know, they say your eyes see. I see us. When I look up America, everything about America pretty much is black. It's black. It's black. You get what I mean? The foundation of what the country was built on was blood and sweat and tears with us. You understand what I mean? And then as I said, to change the course of something someone said would never change, we stopped giving them our money.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was nickels and dimes. When Trump first won an election, I said we need to stop spending money.
What do you think?
I think
Solutions.
We're
talking about solutions.
Solutions. Everything.
Ladies and
To
gentlemen.
piggyback on what Dion said, everything you said is correct. I think a big part of it I talk about is a holistic, spiritual, mental kind of rebuilding of our psyche, because I feel psychologically and mentally we are still separated when we are so strong when we're together. And then when you see the moments of strength of that unit, whether it's a bus boycott, or when you saw the NBA players saying we're not going to play for this billionaire, or when you see or you see two brothers in Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed say, "Now we're not." Just when you see the unity, when we can be unified, the power in that, but the psyche and knowing how to do that consistently and be consistent with, I think that's a huge step we need to take.
Also, for me, we need to promote Black-owned businesses. We need to patronize each other. Okay, we need to have financial literacy programs and tangible community investments as well.
We need to trust in each other.
We need to trust each other. We need to stick to each other. We need to stop judging each other.
Exactly.
But you know, contrary to popular belief, Black folks, we have always been together. We have a portion of our societies, a portion of our being a subculture, a large percentage and portion of our culture has always been together, have always stuck together, has always supported each other, whether it be businesses. Most people our ages, you stayed with your grandmama. It might have been her sisters, her brothers. 5 or 6 families stayed with your grandmother. We didn't care about who had what, who paid what. We prayed together. We stayed together. We woke together. We went to church together. We worshiped together. Or we didn't do that, but we were together. One of the good examples I like to bring up with respect to history, because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you are going. Okay? No one tells other ethnic groups or races or people to forget about their history or what they've been through. So don't you dare tell those who have entered the realm of melanated politics to stop talking about or forget about the history, because we are in solidarity with those brothers and sisters, and we always pull something positive, if we can, out of that. Now, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black-owned businesses, Black-owned schools, Black-owned churches, okay, Black-owned thought processes, okay, Black love, Black hugs, okay, no judgment. You don't have anywhere to live. Come live with us. Okay, you don't have anything to eat. I will feed you, my brother. I will feed you, my sister. So Black Wall Street is something that should and will live forever. It should be spoken about in the school systems. It should be spoken about in churches. So let me just say one more thing about Black Wall Street in case people forget. It's important to our history. Okay, Black Wall Street, how Black people stuck together. We had our businesses, etc. Something that we need to continue to do and go back to. Let's show our audience a little bit, just a little taste. In case you don't know, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the early 1920s. Black Wall Street.
Oh, we got to
before we
go to the clip. Okay, cool. That's all right.
Black Wall Street.
1921. The Greenwood section of Tulsa, Oklahoma is the center of African American life for the more than 11,000 Black residents of the city. Within this community lie 108 Black-owned businesses, 2 theaters, 2 Black schools, and 15 doctor's offices. In fact, Greenwood is nationally recognized.
Booker T. Washington, who came through here en route to Muskogee, when he saw the glitter and glamour and the bustling businesses, he declared Greenwood as a Negro Wall Street of America. And since the Civil Rights Movement, we had updated it to the Black Wall Street of America.
Barred from shopping and socializing elsewhere in Tulsa, blacks built a place of their own, Greenwood.
We had everything out on Greenwood and in the Negro area that you needed. There were we had drugstores, grocery stores, cleaners, hotels. All of that, of course, was destroyed when the riot came.
On May 31st, 1921, in what has been described as the worst race riot in American history, Greenwood is destroyed. In less than 24 hours, a white mob reduces Black Wall Street to 36 square blocks of smoldering rubble. Scores of African Americans are killed and thousands are left homeless.
White Tulsans not only invaded Black Tulsa, they not only looted homes and businesses, they burned it to the ground. The entire black community, aside from a few outlying areas, was absolutely put to the torch.
That clip was very powerful because it showed that when you had black success, you had enemies trying to destroy it. And that's basically the moral of it. Black folks, even when we lifted ourselves up, like you talked about, we lifted ourselves up, they wanted to take us down.
Okay. So, great video, Black Wall Street. We've been there. We've done that. Let's hold hands. Let's give each other a hug. Let's not judge each other. Let's take what our people have done in places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Let's do it together. Again, my brothers and sisters, 2019 and now. We have a phone call coming in. Caller, welcome to Melanated Politics. You are joined with our special guest today, Dion, David Harper, Eric Clark. Go ahead, caller. Tell us how you really feel.
All right, thank you for taking my call, and thank your call screener for putting me on. I always call in, it's just a little late. You hit a lot of things, and don't forget, Wall Street was the only place in the United States that the United States itself had dropped a bomb on, other than, I think, it was Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. That's the second time it had been done. Mm-hmm. My sister, the sister on the panel, I want to ask her, because this question comes up a lot. You say you are American. Do you know the America is a continent? Do we say we're the only people that say we are America, United States of America? Mm-hmm. Can we actually be American? Because it covers so many different areas other than the United States. So when you say you're American, mm-hmm. what do that really mean? Could you just tell me what that really means?
If you don't mind, before you answer that question, thank you for calling in, brother. What's your name?
J. Speed.
J. Speed. Okay, go ahead, Dion.
Yeah,
thank you for calling in.
Yeah, good deal. J. Speed, basically, I don't even really want the American part put with it. I really would like to leave it at human being, that I'm just a child of God. You know what I mean? Seriously, that I'm just a human being. I don't know if that offends you or anything like that, because I don't, But basically, as just a child of God, that's a human being, that I have love for every race, every nationality, and that I believe we should be judged by the content of our character.
Okay, I think that answered the question very well.
Okay, well, to Jay Smooth, thank you so much, my brother, for calling in.
Thanks.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
And we have another caller.
And and ladies and gentlemen, we have another caller. Welcome to Melanated Politics. You are with Dion, David, myself, Eric. Tell us how you really feel.
Good morning. My name is Kevin, and hello, Eric and David.
Hey, Kev. Hey.
My hat's off to Dion with the insightful comments she's offered. Your dialogue is very much appreciated and insightful. I listened to the show, and I'm just kidding here, but I guess listening is the way to learn instead of talking, because you don't learn when you're talking. So I've really benefited from listening this morning. But I'd just like to offer a few comments. that the show was very insightful and informative. But first, I'd like to mention Biden as a candidate. It's good that you emphasized the previous comments that he made in terms of being directed indirectly toward black people, in terms of the Hillary Clinton rhetoric as predators.
Could you speak a little loud? Could you speak a little louder for us, please, Kevin? Go ahead. Continue. Speak a little louder. Thanks.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. I think candidates such as Biden and even Hillary, in her case, could have learned from Donald Byrd, who was a previous Democratic candidate or congressman that was a grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan at one time. But what he did, he turned around his philosophy, his insight, and his tangible actions that benefited black people to the extent that he really ranked high in the NAACP legislative report card. And I think what these people need to emphasize, such as Biden and Hillary, is that you may and you did make mistakes in terms of your philosophy, entertaining the Trumpian dog whistle politics, which is really detrimentally speaking of black people, but in a coded message toward whites who you're trying to take in for voting purposes. He needs to just come out and do that, and even use Donald Byrd as an example of someone who did wrong but made a concerted effort to turn around and do right.
Well, Kevin, number one, as always, your intellectual capacity with respect to political issues is always impeccable. Thank you so much for calling in. I don't know when's the last time you ate some Mexican food, Kevin, but we have to go ahead and wrap this up like a burrito. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you for calling in. Continue
Kevin.
to watch. Continue to tune in every Sunday. Kevin, my dear brother, thank you for calling in. Very interesting points. Let's stick together. We can't do it without you. Hopefully you feel you can't do it without all of us and each other.
Yes. Thanks, Kevin.
Sounds good. And I'll continue in another session. We'll continue on these issues.
Absolutely.
The burrito is wrapped up, man. We got to go.
Sounds good.
Now, before we wrap, thank you, brother. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate that. For those that don't know, Kevin is actually a professor.
Oh, wonderful.
He's a professor. He's a good friend of mine. Kevin actually prepares me for the show because we speak about politics, the impact of politics, laws, friendships, unity, loyalty, the fact that we've been together. A lot of us together now. Stay together. Let's stop judging each other. Let's stop being so hard on each other as black folk. Okay? Let's start to forgive each other as black folk. Since you got all this forgiveness in your heart, pick up the phone and call your sister you haven't called in 5 years because she owes you some money. Okay? So it starts with us. We have to take care of home. Another solution is we need to focus on fixing our own problems as a black community. Okay? There will be more solutions that we will discuss in the future. We will also keep you posted on the latest Trump drama as we receive it every week, every day,
every second that comes in
of the day. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Melanated Politics. Okay, thanks again, Dion.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank Dion. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Gracing us with your presence. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to be here. I just, again, like I said with the caller, it reminds me that I speak. I'm Southern. We just speak.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
So I have to make sure I clarify some things really quick. I'm the kind of human being that I take self-inventory. I was a firm believer of that song, Man in the Mirror, or Woman in the Mirror, that everything has to start within me. Because if each individual works on themselves, then that's really almost half of the solution. That's every race, every nationality. If you're taking self-inventory and you're being accountable and asking yourself, what did I do to make life better today? What did I do to help somebody, save somebody? What have I done? Like Martin Luther King said, then my living has not been in vain.
Right. Right.
So when I say that, I'm saying that I'm a human being walking this earth trying to do what's right and be a blessing to anybody that I can be a blessing to.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks again for showing up, representing all of us. We've all worked on political campaigns for a while, all three of us. Thank you for your representation that is unapologetic. Your closing thoughts before I wrap it up like another burrito.
Like before we wrap it up like a burrito, I just want to say this was an incredible show. Thanks for being here. It really brought great energy to Melanated Politics. Thank you as always to Morris Media, the poetess, Sheena, Mr. Eric Clark, Dion, and most of all to our listeners and people watching. Thank you so much.
And always, Melanated, the essence of color, politics, war without bloodshed. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in once again on a Sunday afternoon to Melanated Politics, where our gun is our tongue and our wisdom is our ammunition. For Dion, for David, I'm Eric Clark. Peace.
Peace.